All right, Zach.
Yeah.
Got a little quiz for you here.
Oh, man.
So I was reading this that we're going to talk about.
Oh, I'm nervous.
And there is a name of a place in here.
Oh, boy.
That is in some fiction writing. But it just occurred to me, like, how often are biblical names, and I'm not talking about like your kind of ones who have reached into commonality, like you can find lots of Davids and Matthews and Johns and stuff, but like some of the more obscure places and names, and it's a subjective call.
Sure.
On what's obscure or not. But maybe it's thinking how many you can name have made it into like books, popular
Bible
culture,
names.
Bible names of people or places.
Yeah. Man, great. So you got to think of people a little bit off the beaten path, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're common stories, but names that are, or places that are not totally. Well, one of my favorite places in the Bible is Middle Earth. Read about that a lot. Let's see. Yeah.
So one of the names of Aragorn, his elven name is Alessor. And there's a place in the Bible. It's not spelled exactly the same, but it looks like it's pronounced exactly the same, Alessor.
Okay, there you go. Let me think if I can think of. I'm trying. So, can we think Lord of the Rings specifically? There's some.
I don't know any more in Lord of the Rings.
Okay, give me a. Will that give it away if you give me a story?
Maybe Moby Dick has a lot.
Okay. I don't know a lot about it. Oh, let's see. I don't know.
Okay, all right. So the narrator, it's kind of first person not first person, second person, like I did this, I guess that is first person. His name is Ishmael. Call me Ishmael. The captain is Captain Ahab.
Okay, yeah, so we're picking, maybe not everyone's favorite characters here.
Sure. Jeroboam is the name of a ship in Moby Dick. Rachel is a whaling ship in Moby Dick.
Okay.
Peleg is the name of a Quaker owner in Moby Dick. So Herman Melville went all out in these biblical references. The one we're going to get today, there's one of the kings is from Shinar, and that is a place in the Wheel of Time. So if you've read through the Wheel of Time series,
love the Wheel of Time.
Love it. Yeah. All 13, 14 books. I'm sure.
Good.
Yeah.
So good. What era or what is a different like universe world this takes place? Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I need to know. Yeah.
There is like the Steinbeck novel East of Eden.
Okay.
That's
I recognize
out there.
this. Yeah.
Megiddo is in the Omega Code.
Oh, okay.
Omega Code 2. Just some others. Nineveh is title setting for plays and novels. Many, I guess there's more. Babel was a 2006 film.
Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar, the name of Morpheus's ship in The Matrix.
Oh, yeah. Matrix had a lot of those parallels.
Yeah. Interstellar. And the Book of Eli both mention a Methuselah.
Okay.
I think,
wow.
Yeah, so they're
it's there.
Apollyon, Babylon, Armageddon, Lilith.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good. It dropped out but came back.
Okay. All right. Do we trust it to keep going?
I think it'll be fine.
All right. One of our many technological issues. So
that's great. Maybe. Do you think when we started saying like Middle Earth, it tuned out?
Maybe when I said Apollyon or Armageddon, it was like, whoa.
Oh, that's great. Pulling from that's a deep cut to pull from these kings.
Yeah.
That's not what you're. It's great.
Yeah. So So I think we're excited for this episode.
I'm excited because I think this gives a lot of context. It's something me growing up, like familiar with this account, but not really. You kind of like, in my mind, I'm like, what's a tar pit? It's like you don't have, it's not like you see, I know what asphalt is. It's like some of this stuff is like not as a kid, it's just a little bit different,
Yeah, it does hit different. All right, so we're going to talk about these kings and take it to the next level.
From the hearts of the Low Country in South Carolina,
it's the Take Two podcast, where we take theology to the next level.
Genesis 14. What an epic story.
Yeah. So last time we kind of talked about 12.
That's right.
Skipping 13 for the most part.
That's right.
This is a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Lot and Abraham divide the land, but nothing major.
Lot just gets, man. It's just like there's not a whole. I guess it's the redeeming quality of Lot's like he like latched onto Abram.
Yeah.
like every time Lot,
he's in Hebrews as a person of faith, and it's like
that is something.
Yeah.
Because he does not get a lot of love in chapter 13.
No.
He just looks very, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know how the conversation goes, but it always, gets picked like, well, Abram was like so kind and saying, hey, pick. And he's like, I want the best land no matter what. Even maybe it wasn't that harsh. Maybe it was like, some more back and forth. But,
yeah. And then he gets kind of some forbidden love later on.
Yikes.
And it's like,
yeah, not great. So, I don't think we're going to do a 3-part series on that part of Lot's life. Like we're just going.
No, we need to really dive into the motivations that was going on here. Yeah, no, we'll probably just kind of skip that. I think I've shared this before, but we were doing this Bible study plan, and I had to go on travel for work. And so the very first night that I'm not there, Jill is with like Chloe and Lydia, and they're probably 5th and 2nd grade, and Karis is kindergarten or something, and it's a story about Lot.
It's great. They're like, so what happened? How? Yeah.
Like, oh, that's gross.
Well, we are on chapter 14, where it gives me PTSD from Ezra and Nehemiah and reading these names.
Joel, he read through these
names.
Good. He did a pretty good job. So we got these 4 kings from the east.
4 kings from the east, yeah.
One of them is kind of southern, maybe like around Babylon.
Okay, I thought you were about to like make a pun on someone's name, like it sounded southern, but I got you. Literally,
But yeah, literally, I think he's more like present day, like southern Iraq, that kind of area. But a lot of them seem to be coming over from like northern Iraq and over like so that Mesopotamia general area, maybe slightly east and of Haran.
And you made this point last time in passing about these, different city states where it's not like, 15 cities that are all connected politically and are all. It's like every city state probably had, full autonomy and sovereignty and would look to trade with other nations, have their own king, and it's like more maybe centralized in one spot, and so. That's a little different than like it's not like Russia and the U.S. and China, are getting together for a war, but still we got these, different kings.
Yep. And I do have a map of this as well,
nice.
Kind of their journey. And so what's going to happen with these kings is they are going to come around and almost kind of follow Abraham's path.
Oh yeah, that was helpful. Pastors, map that showed everything.
Yeah, so they're going to come around. Like if this is, let's say this is the, maybe I should just point it, but I don't know where it's going to be. So I don't know where my hands are going to be.
Match it,
but you can see on this map that I'm showing that they're going to come down and really go on the western side of the Jordan River.
Okay, yes.
And they're going to fight several little nation states along that way until they even get into like the Negev, like south, almost into Saudi Arabia. They got some people they take care there, and then they start working their way back up the eastern side of the Jordan River, and that's where they come into the 5 cities that will be destroyed. I think Genesis 19, Sodom, Gomorrah, Tyre, Zoar, and one other. They go by Tyre and Zoar. They have different names. But it's those cities. And then they're going to kind of keep going northeast of Galilee and start heading up kind of where present day or not present day, but where the Samaritans would be, kind of headed towards Damascus. Well, while they're on their way there, that's where Abraham is going to assail them and kind of win Lot back.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Big
so that's
overview.
Kind of big overview.
Yeah, that's super helpful. So if we're starting like this, well, do you want to read their names, Michael, just so people can appreciate it?
Yeah. Let's give this a go. Raphael, king of Shinar.
Love it.
This is the thing that the Shinar. Yeah. Arioch, king of Elessar, which is the name that I told you about Aragon.
That's right. Yeah.
And I've seen this as Che and Ke, but I think it's Ke. I think it's a K sound.
I think it is a K sound as well.
Kedorlaomer.
Sounds good to me.
King of Elam, and title, King of Goim. And Goim here is just the word for nation, so we don't really have a lot of information about where he's coming from. And we talked about kind of the campaign path down the eastern side of the Jordan, down in the Negev, and then back up.
This is where if your name is clay thrower, your ears start to perk up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you start, I never can memorize all of them, but it's like if you hear those eames, those anakims, those Rephaims, that's a good sign that you might be in a Nephilim territory. Exactly.
And you listen to the first 3 of the places. So as they're going down the eastern side of the Jordan, they get the Rephaim in Asteroth Carnium. So these are people who probably serve Asheroth, that female god.
That connection is crazy.
Right. The Ashtaroth poles. The Zuzim in Ham. Possibly the Zamzummim of Deuteronomy 2:20. They were,
if it is those people,
giant people.
Yeah, so maybe that's like a shortening or a different way to reference them. I mean, it would make sense.
And the Rephaim are giants.
Yes.
Purportedly.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think Rephaim, I can't remember if it's Rephaim or what the maybe next iteration is kind of tied. That's kind of tied to Goliath in a way, like with there's some connection there.
Like he's a descendant of them.
Yeah, like exactly.
Emim, probably where Eminem came from.
Probably.
Emim. In Sheva Kiriathaim. And these people are also mentioned in Deuteronomy 2:10 through 10, 2:10 through 11. And they were also noted for their size and strength. And then they're going to continue going down to the Horites, which are cave dwellers. So now they're getting more south into present-day Israel. Then they're going to sweep further south into El Paran on the edge of the wilderness, turn back north, striking the Amalekites in Mashphat or Kadesh, and the Amorites in Hazazon Tamar. So Amalekites and the Amorites. So two different people as they are coming down. Now they're going to go turn back up the west side of Jordan, and there's going to be a battle in the valley of Sodom. So this is where these 5 kind of city-states are near the Dead Sea with their tar pits, and that's the bitumen deposits.
And I will say this real quick. Yeah. It's like a lot of these people, you said you referenced them in Deuteronomy. It's just interesting that they kind of like hang on for years and years and years. And these are the people that it's like, oh, why the Israelites were so scared because they did have this strength, and they're like, I don't know about these guys, even though they were with God and they could knock out these countries left or these city-states nation. Right. I mean, left and right, but these people were the ones
that made the 10 spies scared.
Exactly, and that's why they did not. That's why they, failed their test. Essentially, had to wander, and then to pass it, had to go through them eventually. But same people. It's like it's good to
connect those dots.
Moses is, got this on his mind.
Yep. Yeah, that is, because Moses would be writing this.
Yes, yeah.
So after they had failed. Yeah. That's a good point. So now we're going to get to the Valley of Sodom. And so we have these kings, the 5 kings. So the 4 kings from the Far East are going to face the 5 kings of the valley. There's Bera of Sodom, Bersha of Gomorrah, Sinab of Admah, Shemember of Zeboim, and king of Bela or Zor. And we're not given that king's name. So there we see Sodom, Gomorrah, Zor. Either Admah or Zeboim would be Tyre, because we know Tyre is one of those 5 cities. I'm not sure which one is those. The 5 kings are routed. Some of the people, as they're fleeing, fall into tar pits, and others escape. And in that tumult, Sodom and Gomorrah is looted, and Lot and those cities' goods are taken with those kings.
No, that's great. I would love to. It just like I want to know exactly like how big these tar pits were, where they were. I've like always like looked up pictures of like tar pits and stuff. I would just think that these kings in the Jordan Valley would like use geography to their advantage, versus like, but maybe they were just smaller and couldn't keep up or whatever. But it just like it seems like a massive battle, like 4 kings versus 5, and it's like a lot going on.
Yeah, and you wonder what their losses were along the way. If that played into Abraham being able to defeat them, I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Maybe it was about a lot of geography. I mean, it's like a lot of mileage is covered. So then from here, they kind of make this retreat north, marching up the eastern side of the Jordan, past the Sea of Galilee toward Damascus. Okay, so we're going around.
Yep. Someone escapes and alerts Abraham that Lot had been taken. So Abraham is going to rally his troops, 318 trained men.
Yeah.
Are they soldiers or are they shepherd soldiers? We're not given, but we're just told they're trained. And he's going to ally himself with the Amorites, Honor, Eshcol, and Mamre.
Mamre, I know there's an oak there.
Yeah.
I always recognize the oak of Mamre. It's interesting, too, aligning himself with the Amorites, just to think about.
Right, yeah. So we really can't get on to David for...
He's like, I'm just... Abraham...
helping with the Philistines, pretending to help with the Philistines while he's actually slaughtering them.
Because that is interesting. If he's got... I mean, I guess he's got all these other... He's got a good kind of, group of people with him. If he's got 318, presumably maybe they do too. Maybe they're larger. Amorites probably have been there longer than he has. So maybe he just has maybe people just like Abram because, he's a good guy, and God's blessing him.
Yeah. And probably these people were like, if we don't stop this, what's going to stop them from coming getting us the next time?
Yeah.
All right. So tactical smartness.
Man.
So we don't know who the genius is. Is it Abraham or someone he's with? But they split up their forces and they surround these folks and they kind of ambush them at night.
Man. Yeah. Near Dan, which is like, you're getting pretty far up north there in Dan's territory. And things go well. Ambush, success.
Yeah. So Lot is restored to his home. Abram, and they get a whole bunch of stuff.
Get all the stuff. Yeah, they get a lot of stuff. That's right.
And so Abram is returning home, and you wonder, because this is not necessarily on his path there. Did you have an audio blip?
No.
Okay. This is not on his path, but he makes it down to Salem.
Yeah. Interesting.
Up to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
So what do we know about Salem?
Whew. It sounds a lot, peace, and it sounds a lot like Jerusalem.
Yeah. So this is, Salem is kind of where present-day Jerusalem is. He's going to meet Melchizedek. We've done an episode on Melchizedek,
right.
So you can go back and find that. The question is that we're trying to answer, is he a Christophany, or is he just a person, kind of a type of Christ?
Yeah.
But Abraham is going to give, how I understand Scripture, all of his share, which is 1/10 of the total. So you could one verse you read, you think he gave 1/10 of it, and it's like, I'm going to tithe off of this because I don't want anyone to think I was made rich. But I'm like, you're keeping 90%. But if you keep reading the full context, I think his share was 1/10, and so he gave all of his 1/10 to Melchizedek. I think that's the correct reading of that.
Okay, and the trick is, Melchizedek, he is this priest, the God Most High. Also, he's king of Salem, so king of peace and king of righteousness is what Melchizedek means, versus he's a king of peace. Yeah.
All right. And so Joel came down on the side of not a Christophany.
Yeah.
We recorded that, and we're like, I think we were like, maybe Christophany. Where do you stand today? What percentage? On 1 to 100 Christophany?
Oh, I think it's very plausible. And so did we did 2 separate episodes on, we did one on Michael and one on Melchizedek.
Yeah.
I feel like I was much stronger on the Melchizedek versus Michael. plausible, maybe not sold. Melchizedek, I'm not sold, but I think I lean in that direction of a Christophany.
I probably lean that way too. And just to clarify on Michael the Archangel, not to be confused with the Jehovah's Witness doctrine. We are not bringing Christ down to Michael, but maybe suggesting that Michael was the archangel, like the proper name of the angel of the Lord. Like Michael may have been the name of the angel of the Lord, and so was another name for God the Son. That was what we were talking about. Yeah,
it is so. It's just interesting thinking about if Melchizedek, king of Salem, and then I don't know. You just don't get a whole lot of other stuff. It's like he's there, then he's not. Like Jebusites are like there. I don't know. It's like Amalekites. You like come across all these names a lot, but it's like he's there, then he's not there.
Yeah, and we get told about him. He shows up with Abraham, 2000 BC, and then 1000 BC. David's going to reference him, and then around 60 AD, the writer of Hebrews is going to reference him.
That's what you're on this. Yeah, and that's it. Over thousands of years. Not a whole lot. It's very significant, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Pastor Joel did mention this Temple Zero, which is, some concrete, proof of something was happening there with the altar and that kind of thing. But yeah, so fascinating that all of that happened, right? It's so interesting. Yeah, Abraham Day. You got all these people just writing all about it. Great. I love doing that. That episode with Clay was really, really good.
All right, and so that's really where the story ends.
Yeah.
He's going to go back, but I thought we could maybe do a deep dive on these kings and on the peoples. So I have a table in our notes from these kings. So Amraphel.
Yes, that's
Amraphel, king of Shinar, would have been from southern Mesopotamia, and maybe Hammurabi link, but it's less supported. So we're trying to figure out where these kings came from. Arioch, king of Elasar, names mean servant of the moon god.
Ooh, is that Nana?
Yep. And so we think he's probably from this area, maybe an Amorite vassal. So, Kedor Lamer, king of Elam, Elamite royal type name, and matches the Elamite usage. And then we have title, king of Goim, possibly some type of Hittite or Gushian leader. Goyim just means nations that we mentioned before. Just could be maybe someone they gathered in as part of the coalition to round up their numbers.
Very interesting. Got some. I like this little, and it's just such a different context. Like having all these maybe little vassal kings to these suzerain kings, and how there's probably a lot of these nation states, city states that just like served the other one kinda and had paid a lot of tribute, big ones, little ones, but. That's so interesting. So based on this chart, back in the day, it's like, Hammurabi, people thought that was more connected. And then as more maybe archaeological evidence or whatever has come to light, they're like, okay, maybe we just said Hammurabi because that's like the only person it just see, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it says these people are like Amorite and Hittites, but they must have been of that lineage, but moved east. But they're coming back. I don't understand why they would fight against. So I'm not a ancient Near Eastern expert. And you're not either, or are you?
You don't know me. You don't know that. Don't make judgments. No, but definitely not. But what I'm also not is an expert on the Nephilim.
Yeah.
But Rephaim and their neighbors. That is fascinating.
Yeah, I thought this was very fascinating. So. We kind of alluded to this at the beginning, but this Mesopotamian coalition, they march into Canaan in Genesis 14, and did they have a beef to pick with Sodom and Gomorrah? Yes, because those kings had stopped paying tribute. We're told that explicitly. But they don't go right there. And the people they go after are at least the three people, and if you read some of the more current supposed Nephilim encounters, they happen in caves, and the fourth people are cave dwellers. I'm So the fourth people, the Horites, are not necessarily known to be, they're not stated to be like large, like giants, like the other three, but they're told to be cave dwellers. So you might have these like, people who have, good cave tactics and stuff and fighting.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. And it's like all these things, I think it's hard to lean on one of these arguments super hard, but there's like 18 arguments. It's almost like you stack them up and you're like, okay, maybe not any of these one things I love 100%, but it's like, man, you put them all together and it's very compelling. Yeah.
And when I was doing this research and like, I'll do some research, I'll find something on a website, I'll throw it in and I'll talk to ChatGPT about it. And ChatGPT used, I almost said he, I don't want to say he, I don't want to personify him, used this word breadcrumbs. And it's like,
yeah, that's right. That's a good word for it.
It's like, yeah, if we follow the breadcrumbs, it seems like Moses is saying something that his audience would have been familiar with at the time, that we go, okay, are you trying to say is there something going on behind the scenes, which I think maybe there is.
I think you're probably right. So let's talk through these again. We've talked about it a little bit, but the Rephaim, repeatedly linked in the Old Testament with that height, with that strength. We've referenced Genesis 2 several times. It says about the Rephaim, they were great, numerous, and tall, like that Anakim, which is another giant group too that maybe wasn't mentioned in this group, but mentioned in Numbers. And
you said just to clarify, you said Genesis 2.
Oh, sorry, Deuteronomy 2. Yeah, Deuteronomy 2. And then from the Bible character drafts, Og, that guy.
Cordell, yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Had that bed that was over 13 feet in Deuteronomy 3. So presumably he just didn't want a place to spread out, but he was really, really tall.
Yeah. And he was reportedly the last of the Rephaim. Yeah. Rephaim, however it's pronounced.
However it is. While you're going through some of this, I'm going to look up, I'm going to try to find the connection between Goliath and the Rephaim.
Sweet. And then lastly, the Rephaim, they had a stronghold in Ashtaroth Karnaim, which is in Bashan, which, if you've read through the Psalms and, you have Og, king of Bashan, this was called the giant country. And so it seems like this coalition is like, you know what? These people have stopped paying tribute, but we should take out these dangerous people too, or at least reduce them in numbers. So that's the Rephaim. The second place that they hit is the Zuzim in Ham, often considered to be connected to the Zamzummim in Deuteronomy 2:20, who were also called a people great and numerous and tall, like the Anakim, likely lived in the Amorite territory just east of the Jordan River. And their name may carry an onomatopoeic
there you go.
flavor as buzzers or murmurs, possibly referring to war chants or intimidating battle tactics.
That would be scary.
So if you had these giants going, something like that, man, then you might call them the Zuzim.
Here's the connection. So we talked about Rephaim. Connected with them are the Anakim. Anakim. In Joshua 11, it says that Joshua wiped out the Anakim from most of the land except for Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. So Goliath is from Gath, and describes him as a giant and describes him as a descendant of the Rapha, which people connect with the Rephaim. It's like maybe not
just a shortening of the name.
Exactly. And so presumably, the Anakim who survived Joshua's conquest fled to places like Gath, and over generations, their lineage continued and produced, some giants here. So that's the connection. Again, that is like a breadcrumb. You following that, but with all of these things, it makes sense.
All right, so we talked about the Rephaim, the Zuzim. The next place that this coalition of four kings hits is the Emim in Shaveh Kiriathaim. These names. Again, Deuteronomy lists all these, so Moses is clearly making a tie here. Deuteronomy 2:10-11 records that the Moabites called them the Emim, meaning terrors.
Man.
Same description given. They're great, they're numerous, and tall like the Anakim. Their territory was the south, which is what we see in what would later become Moabite lands.
Finally, I'll take this one. Really hard to pronounce. The Horites in the hill country. Seir. Name means, like you were saying, cave dwellers. Not necessarily described as giants, but masters of this rugged terrain with that tactical stuff. They, maybe did mining or stone work. They had, mountain warfare, probably under wraps. That's like their home territory. They knew how to battle there. So those are the 4 peoples defeated in that eastern sweep.
And I asked Chat if there was any evidence to indicate that these kings, the coalition of 4 kings, had giant blood in them. And there's really no link. But you maybe think maybe these are rivals. I don't know. You're trying to think like, hey, we're going to go after the meanest, baddest folks. For what reason? To take out the threat, If there's a ladybug and a wasp, I'm killing the wasp.
Right.
So maybe that's what's going on. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And it is also interesting in how all of this maybe relates to Abraham in a way, this, person proclaiming Yahweh and battles and all of this kind of thing. But we have this good question here. Is there a theme? We've kind of been talking about that a little bit. I mean, you can't be like, oh, just 3 of these are really tall groups, no big deal.
Yeah. I think if you read it and you see the connection there, then you go, okay, clearly Moses is saying something there. He is laying something down. 4 of the peoples are linked in scriptures. 3 of the 4 are linked to giant clans. And then the third one is known as these cave dwellers, cave fighters. And so, I'm guessing they're trying to take some potential dangerous enemies out. So suggestions: neutralizing the most formidable warrior peoples first, securing travel routes. So maybe these people were exercising taxes, and these people wanted goods to move over them, and so this would have been along the kings, the way of the kings, or the what is that called? The
whatever highway or Spina del Mar, or one of these things. I don't know.
And then maybe possibly targeting clans with it, which they had long-standing feuds, but clearly they were targeting these people with giants in them.
And you have to imagine, if you're got these city-states, there's probably always skirmishes going on. It's probably like, oh, your uncle died. I don't know. There's like all this bad blood that probably goes way back, and your grandfather said, if you ever see these people, and then it's probably always occupying more land or taking more resources. It's probably an ongoing kind of thing. And then you do probably want to be the top dog. Like, hey, I'm just asserting my dominance so people know, like, that's what's up.
Yeah, and that was the conclusion, that this is probably less like our modern day wars where but more like an ancient gang turf war where we're like, we're going to be the top dogs. We're going to own this Via del Mar, the Road of the Kings. We're going to be the number one. So we're going to take these folks down, make them pay tribute to us. And
if I were to ask maybe the average evangelical on the street, like, hey, let's write down like top 5 favorite things about Abraham. I mean, maybe this comes, maybe doesn't. It is a prominent thing. Like, this is a story, but people probably wouldn't be able to tell you more than Abraham defeated. Maybe they skip straight to Melchizedek.
Oh yeah, he had to rescue Lot.
Yeah.
That's probably what you.
So why does this matter? Why do we have all this detail of these things? Like, why doesn't it just say that Lot was captured and Abraham, rescued him?
Yeah, that's very good. All right, so I'm skipping down to number 4 in our notes. Why does this matter for Abraham's story? Kind of the question you're just asking. By the time the Mesopotamian army reached Sodom and Gomorrah, they had already steamrolled through most of the intimidating forces in the Levant. So that makes Abraham's victory against that same coalition even more remarkable. He's got his 318 plus whatever allies he has.
That's pretty amazing. After all that's going on, he's still going to take on these people who just laid the smackdown to these giant clans. And so you think of location, Transjordan Highlands, Bashan kind of area. We read over and over again, great sized Anakim Nephilim linkage. Book of Enoch. Also, if you say that 3 times, Clay also does appear. Makes maybe this connection a little bit more explicit between fallen angels, giant clans, and the pre-flood corruption. Post-flood Rephaim is often seen. That's like the remnant from all of this from Genesis 6.
Yep. All right, and then the 5 cities before destruction, because in chapter 19, if I'm remembering, I think that's right, where Sodom and Gomorrah are destroyed.
Yeah.
If it's not 19, it's right around there. These cities were known as being fertile.
Oh yeah.
Wealthy trade hubs along the Dead Sea route, known for moral corruption.
Yeah.
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 And
isn't that just so amazing that to this day, names associated with moral corruption? It's it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a Americanism or if it's no, in the 1200s,
right.
if you said sodomy like that, I mean in whatever language you were in that carried the same weight. I don't know.
Yeah. And then this is a question I looked up. Tar pits today.
Yeah.
Yes. Natural asphalt still occurs in the region, historically mined for use in waterproofing and construction. So
there you go.
There you go.
I wish I had more experience with some of this geography because it's hard to envision. You go to the Dead Sea area today, and boy, is it just desolate. It's just
They haven't really there's no houses that live around there. Or?
They do have resort they have Dead Sea resorts for fancy people, but it's
they're just trucking everything.
It's
in.
It's desert, and then they road resorts that are on for the spa and the salt and all of this stuff, and some industry there for that.
Was there salt that you could pick up?
Oh my goodness! You go in the water and you just go in the bottom, and it's just handfuls. I've got some in my house that I just kept brought back.
Could you grind it up and salt your?
I never looked. I mean, it's it all turned into salt crystals based on the weather and stuff here. But it's everywhere. It's one of those things that you're not thinking. It is really hard to go under the water because it's so buoyant. It forces you up, and you don't want to go under the water because you're. Even eyes closed,
it burns,
it
right?
Instantly burns. Everything burns. It's not super comfortable. If you have any kind of cut, it is just crazy. And the water is very warm. I mean, maybe because I went in the middle of summer when it's a bajillion degrees, but it was it's just so interesting. And you can see just probably other, places like this, but it's receded so much. There's but you can just see where it was probably 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's just
why is it receding? People aren't using that water. Maybe they're pulling water out of the Galilee or
I don't know,
Jordan River.
It looks insane. You can just see where it had been maybe 100 years ago or something. Right. Anyway,
estimates that Abraham's force would have been 500 to 800 people. Perhaps an underdog type victory with the element of surprise against them at night. So. All right, takeaways. Abraham in Genesis 12, verses 14, kind of talked about this last Tuesday. But he goes from a self-preserving and fearful in Egypt to bold and decisive and rescuing Lot.
I'm just glad he learned his lesson from Egypt, never to be repeated again.
Never to be repeated again. He'll never struggle with this issue again. Wink, wink.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe one, it's a much larger scales, but there's ups and downs, failures, victories, and that kind of thing. And I like this note that Abram refusal of spoils shows Abram's allegiance to God over political and economic gain, because there's probably a lot of both of those things at stake with all these different things.
Yeah. All right, some questions to consider. Why does God sometimes allow his people to be caught up in other nations' conflicts? It happens. Man. Believing Palestinians.
Yeah, that it's
caught up in between the Muslims and the Jews.
Man.
Why does Abram's growth between what does Abram's growth between chapters 12 and 14 say about sanctification? Mm-hmm. What does his future fall say about sanctification? How should believers truly balance alliances with unbelievers for just causes? So that's a good question.
That is a good question.
You could roll over into a politics episode in the future. And then, was the meeting with Melchizedek a mere historical encounter or a divine foreshadowing of Christ? So,
man, a lot of good things to think about. Yeah. That's Abraham episode number 3.
Yeah.
Anything else about this account before we leave our listeners? And there is a 4th Abraham episode down the pike.
Oh, yeah. Nothing more that I have.
Me either. Thanks for talking about Rephaim, Anakim, all this fun stuff. We will catch y'all next time. That's our take.
Thanks for listening to Take Two. Find us wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube for those who want to watch our videocast.